So welcome everyone to today's seminar about mentorship. This is going to be a little bit participative. While going along with theory, I will ask you at some points to vote with thumbs up or thumbs down when I ask you about some stuff that maybe happened to you or maybe not. And also I'll be asking open questions, which are like, have this happened to you? What do you think what is the list of the things that you can give me that fit the topic, etc. Okay, so let's start off first with a bit of a plan of the seminar. So the first part will be about getting mentorship, and that will be like a bit about what is mentorship in general, where did it came from, what's the idea behind it, what are the types of mentorship, and then we'll proceed to reasons why would you like to maybe get mentorship, how to make the best out of getting mentorship if you get there, and how you can look for and find a person that would become your mentor. Then we're going to move to giving a mentorship part of things, which will include reasons to be a mentor, how you could become a mentor, how you can explore what opportunities for mentorship there are around you, and there will be a short FAQ section and questions. There will be a part where you'll be also able to ask questions between the getting mentorship and giving mentorship parts. But if you forget about something or you come up with something later, there will be also time at the end of it. So we're going to start with some basics. Mentorship is a term that actually comes from Greek mythos, because when Odysseus was going on his journey, he has left his son in care of his friend that was supposed to train his son to become a warrior, teach him the ways of the people, and generally take care of him, teach him about life, about their culture, so that when Odysseus comes back, his son is like in a decent shape, let's put it that way. And obviously that friend's name was Mentor. There are many types of mentorship. It would be, for example, direct one, which you would have in case of the original mentor, for example, because his mentorship was targeted to a person. Then you have passive type of mentorship, where you do not really focus on anyone, but you're still being able to provide mentorship to people around you. You have formal mentorship. Here again, you have, for example, the original mentor, because he was properly asked to accept the student, to which he then proceeded to teach things. And then there is natural mentorship, which is not officially asked for, it just happens. It's very much connected with passivity, but for sure there are more forms and ways to mentor out there. It's just that they might be mixes of those. We might not really name them. It's not really that important beyond like the general idea that stands behind all of this, and just gives you the option to know that there is just not one decided type of mentorship. Life is a great teacher, and the perfect passive natural mentor is life, because everything that you're going to experience, if you are able to process it, get out your lessons out of it, can be a form of mentorship. You know, it's learning on your mistakes, for example, because you were able to observe a process, take something out of it for you, and then adapt and adjust to it. And then a very important thing, mentorship is not something that is done to you. It is something that you do to yourself with the help of others. We're going to come back onto why is it important, but just remember that you are the driving force behind getting mentorship from people. And so you're responsible for it. So let's go in the first question, where I would like you to vote with thumbs up or thumbs down. Did you ever have a mentor? I'll type the question in the chat on Discord. If yes, just react with thumbs up. If no, react with thumbs down. I see that Isaac wrote that he had several. As long as you have at least had at least one, it counts towards yes, I had. No, not in magic terms, because there's a question in magic terms. Just in general terms, in your life, have you ever had a mentor for anything? Okay, so I see that a lot of people has voted yes, and I see one answer that is not formally in any sense, and that foiled my plan to have a grand big shock on you, to tell you that, oh, you didn't have a formal mentor. That doesn't mean that you didn't have mentor in your life. So you guys are ahead. I hope you won't stay ahead for too long, because otherwise that means that I lost my ability to surprise people, at least on this topic. But that's good on you. It means that you have the things right, because you probably had a lot of just people who were there for a moment in the magic setting. It could have been, for example, a person who shadows you. It could be also at your work. A person that just comments your actions, someone who gives you a piece of advice, and someone who corrects you, as well as people who are just happy to share their knowledge. All of those actions fit in the bill of being a mentor to someone. So it doesn't have to be formal. Still, there will be people around you who will be happy to perform actions that still make them mentor to you. Okay, so reasons to be open to mentorship. Can you write some in the chat? Why do you think that being open to mentorship is a good thing for you? It means that we are willing to learn. Yep. To improve yourself. Constantly learning is a good thing. We don't know nothing. Well, I think we know something, but maybe not as much as we would like to. Development of current skills. I see people typing, that's why I'm still waiting for a moment, but we're gonna move on soon. Learning from someone with more experience. Personal development, having another person's perspective can help us see things in a different way. Very good point. It shows that we are humble enough to know that we need improvement. Okay, so let's see. First thing that you can get, because generally reasons to be open to mentorship is because it can give you a lot. And what it can give you, for example, is that you can get an honest and informal feedback, which is very helpful, since it is not just that polite thing that you have to do for others. It's something that is really geared towards helping you improve. You can enhance your development and you can get guidance. You get a different new perspective, like it was mentioned. You get exposure to new ideas, experiences, theories, and practices, which connects, of course, to new perspectives, but it's like more nailed down when it comes to that point. You get support and acknowledgement, which is important. Oh, okay. I'll try to keep it closer, then maybe it will be better. Thanks for heads up about the microphone. Yeah, so you get support and acknowledgement, which is important for many people to be able to improve and so that they can stick to their goals better. And you get challenge because like it's the other side of seeing things. Like you want to improve yourself. To improve yourself, someone would most probably need to challenge. So let's talk about how to get the best out of receiving mentorship. To do that, you have to commit to a couple of things. The first one would be that you are the person that is responsible for your goals. That connects to the thing about that mentorship isn't something that is done to you. It's something that you do to yourself with the help of others, because in the end, the person that is going to benefit from this process, the person that is has certain things to achieve is you, which means while you can get help to define the goals and to get there, you are the one that is responsible to solidify on them and to stay on track and push towards them and to achieve them in the end. Like, of course, you cannot blame your mentor that you didn't get where you wanted. Second thing is you have to commit to be ready to listen to and to share ideas. Exchanging between people is a vital part of this entire process, and it has to connect to a certain level of openness and the comfort to be able to discuss with the other with your honesty and your real ideas, not just like what you think the other person would like to hear. You will be able to receive feedback, but you also need to be receptive to it. And you also should give feedback and act on both of those, since this is building on the communication that we're talking about. Feedback is communication. Sorry, I cannot do much better with the mic, I think. But if it will be super bad, or if you miss something, you can tell me and I will repeat. But in the meantime, I will try to continue. So yeah, you will need to be able to be receptive to feedback and to really take it into account, as well as if you feel that something is could be improved when it comes to the other person, you should also voice it, and both of you should work together to implement what you have talked about. And of course, you need to be honest and respectful also about others' time, which means that you have to take into account what they're saying to you. You shouldn't try to waver it. You shouldn't, of course, like most of us would go for mentorship or try to get mentorship from people we would respect. But that's the easy way. Like we talked about, sometimes mentorship is found in places where we wouldn't expect it to be. So that's why being respectful helps you to look for more opportunities in more places where you can find it. And I've put that you need to be respectful about others' time here, because if you are not responsible for your goals, and if you're not taking things seriously, but someone is giving their energy to you and is trying to help you, you're not only hurting yourself, but you're also hurting the other person, because you're not only wasting your time by not committing to what you said you would like to achieve, but also the person that is trying to get you there. So how we could find a mentor if we would like to find one? More in a more direct sense, as a person who would stay with us to help us achieve what we have planned. So for start, we're gonna go with a couple of questions. The first one of them would be, what do I want to achieve? Because that defines your scope of, it puts into words and specific actions the things that you would like to improve on. And once you will have those definitions, you can look for who's good at those things. And the next step would be to observe them, if you would try to get some passive mentorship from them, and interact them if you would feel like this person would be willing to help you with what would you like to achieve. But of course, there are more ways than the one that I described. You can also act in specific ways to attract more opportunities from people to mentor you. First one of them is to be open and appreciate people's feedback, because it always is going to invite them to give you more. And the other one is to be the person who goes to people and starts talking to them and try to just discuss various topics that you find interesting or struggle with. Of course, you're gonna most probably get something immediately out of your target by just discussing the topic that you're currently passionate about. But it can also eventually turn into something more committed and longer, right? Okay, so this is the first part. Do you have any questions so far? Or maybe a small topic that you would like to discuss? Okay, I don't see anyone typing in chat, so we're gonna go further. So, another question with a thumbs up, thumbs down situation. Did you ever mentor anyone? It's not only in magic, like the first part that we just went through has listed many ways in which you can be a mentor to someone. And so having that knowledge in there, just think about, do you feel like you ever have been a mentor to anyone in any sort of situation? It doesn't have to be magic, just in general. All right, great. I can see that some people are discovering that they actually have mentored someone, which is a good thing. It's one of the goals of this presentation. And fortunately, most of you feel that you have been a mentor to someone already. Okay, so to sum it up, any interaction that will leave people around you with new knowledge, experiences, is a form of mentorship. So it would be very hard for any of us to not be a mentor, since every day we're interacting with people, exchanging, doing even small stuff, but that is leaving others with impressions and new ideas. And any small piece of advice, any small situation where you show someone how to do this, or you give them a piece of knowledge they didn't have before, is a form of mentorship. So now, to mirror the other part, what kind of reasons to be a mentor can you come up with? If you could write it down in the chat, that would be great. That one might be a little bit more complicated because you are not on the end, let's put it that way, that is looking for something or wants something. Okay, so let's see what you're saying. To help others become better, of course. Okay, repeating the question. What reasons to be a mentor can you think of? You get a deeper understanding of the topic if you mentor on it. That's a very good point. A bit of a longer answer. I've had a great mentoring moments when someone just needed to vent to another person. Then when they are done, they might ask, what do you think? I often ask if they want to hear what I think will help them or what they want to hear. That is a very nice tactic and they're very thoughtful. Because some people like teaching, of course. When you see someone doing something you know can be done easier, faster. Okay, so a couple of people are still typing, so I'll let them finish and then progress. Yeah, helping others improve and having personal and professional growth. Okay, so we're gonna progress now. So the reasons that, for example, I found in many places, including my experience, is that you're also gonna learn from others, even if you're serving as a mentor. You have the ability to build on your leadership and management skills, especially that mentorship is an important part of leadership. You can review and validate your own knowledge and your accomplishments. It's a pretty big point, at least for me, and probably for many people with the imposter syndrome, because we tend to undervalue what we've managed to achieve. And once you start sharing your knowledge with other people and seeing that you actually are able to give them something they didn't have before, it helps you notice that you actually are good for something. You can get recognition from your peers. That's a very rewarding feeling. And you can feel proud, as well as get different perspective. While you get mentorship, you get a different perspective from your mentor. And when you mentor someone, you get different perspective from the person that you're mentoring. Those two are obviously connected, and that's why it's very important so that all of the people involved keep the open mind, so those perspectives can be fully taken advantage of. So yes, a lot of the things that you have commented on are in here, just in different words, because you're saying that a lot of people were saying that they enjoy helping others, and I can only guess that you enjoy helping others because you can feel proud of it or that you get recognition, but also because you get other things for you, for yourself, that are in here. And the last thing is that you can pay it forward. Our experience is built on the things that we've gotten from a lot of people and that we've learned ourselves. And while you cannot repay to the person that taught you something in a very direct and straight way, you can always try to pay it forward and help others to grow like someone did for you. So, can you tell me what are the ways in which you can be a mentor, or how to be a mentor? What are your ideas on the topic? Any takers on the ideas of what are the basic things that it would be good to do if you would like to be a mentor to someone? Wanting to genuinely help people is important. It is about helping them to grow, and you need to develop that trust. Be a good listener. Of course, I'm going to preface it before I will show you my slide in full, that those are only my answers, and that's why I'm also asking that question first as an open question. So if people come up with obviously different or more things than I do, it's always a positive value for everyone. So if you won't see your answer on the slide, in no way it means that you're wrong. Encouragement. So support, yeah. Okay. So first thing is you would like to help people define their goals, but again, building on the things that we've spoke about before, you do not make the goals for them. The person that you're trying to help cannot be given goals. They can be led to discovering or solidifying the goals that they would like to have, but they cannot be made for them. And so it's very much about guidance. Sharing your knowledge, of course, this is the basis of this entire thing, our exchanges. Offer information, guidance, and advice. On the topics, outside of the topics, just general areas so that it all can connect and just broaden the horizons. Offer constructive feedback. It's an efficient way of exchanging when we try to achieve something. And support and empower people. which was in here mentioned as, for example, encouragement, right? It all is being a mentor is the connection between being someone who is supportive, but also being someone who pushes you a bit. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be the case for everyone. And also in here, we're talking about mentors who are, let's say, welcome, let's put it that way, because like it was mentioned before by someone, it's not always that people will be receptive to what we're saying. But if we're talking about the case where we are, those are good guidelines to on how to approach the situation. And of course, it's great to be proactive when we're trying to be a mentor to someone. For example, you can look around and for people that might have some unrealized potential. In the judge world, that would be, for example, a person that is thinking about becoming a judge. They never really like talked about it, but they came to you and asked you about, okay, so how did you become a judge? And you see that they're often like trying to help people when something goes wrong. They're playing. That is an example of a person that might want to become a judge, and you can probably help them. You can also look for people that are struggling with something that you are good at, that you have experience in. They might be a bit less receptive at the beginning, especially if they are defensive about what they are struggling about. And it's really up to you if you would like to talk to them and maybe show them that you can actually help them and you're here to let them be better and not to judge them. So that's a tougher category, but it's at least for me more rewarding than the first one. And of course, there are also people who would be happy to hear and would be happy to learn what you are happy to share, because sometimes many of us just have passions that we would like to pour onto other people. And this is, again, a form of mentorship, especially if we manage to convince the other person that what we would like to talk to them about can be valuable for them too. So like with finding mentors and getting mentorship, there are many ways to be a mentor, which are not the direct ways. Especially that a lot of people have this idea that mentorship has to be that regular thing, very described. But, you know, small pieces of advice can help people a lot. I remember a lot of very offhanded comments from the beginnings of my judging that I still keep in very high regard up until this day, and I've never forgotten. And I passed it on too. And I think they are very important, even though for the person that gave me the advice, it was just like a small comment. So it had value to me. Of course, reviews and feedback are mentorship too. And obviously in here, I'm talking about the constructive reviews and feedback, where you can also offer and show people the way on how to improve on things that you found as their areas for improvement. For example, just sharing your knowledge and experience openly and freely is a way of mentorship, again, because you're giving knowledge to someone. And now we're going to go into the small FAQ section, where I have summed up, I think, 4 questions that I've heard quite a lot from people. Obviously, they are abbreviated because each person had their own way of asking about it. But just to also dispel a couple of myths that have grew around mentorship through the years. So first one is, how much time do I have to devote to mentorship? And the answer is that it can be really any amount. It doesn't matter if it's an hour weekly, if it's not even regular at all. Any sort of time that you devote to the actions that we have spoke about before is still devoting time to mentorship, and there is no amount of time that you have to devote to it. Of course, when you have a situation where you have an established relationship with someone that you became like an official mentor to them, this is between you and that person. How much time would you like to spend on it regularly? But outside of formalized relationships, any amount of time is great. And then it always felt so formal and serious, and does it have to be like that? So again, it doesn't have to be formal, it doesn't have to be serious. It all depends on the relationship that you build with people around you. It all depends on the rules that you come up with between the people that you interact with. Mentorship should be very tailored and fit to people that would like to benefit from it, because otherwise it's not going to be so successful. Does it have to happen in person? It doesn't have to, especially last year, over a year, has shown us that humanity can do many, many, many things over the internet and without in-person interaction. So totally, you can reach out to someone via internet, you can connect with people, not IRL, and it's totally cool. And I'm not confident about how much do I know. Should I be a mentor? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Please notice that it's about not confident about how much do I know, not confident about if what I know is correct. Those are two different things. Of course, always fact check your stuff and explore if the ideas that you would like to pass on are actually correct. But if, for example, your knowledge on a topic is checked, but it might not just be as expansive as you would like it to be, you still have some knowledge on the topic and it's still going to be valuable for someone. So of course, go for it, share it, become a mentor to someone, even if for a moment. So we finished the part 2 and we finished most of the presentation. And at this point, again, I would like to ask you if you have any questions or any topics to discuss. Maybe you have some stories that you would like to share with others. If someone wants a mentor for L1 or L2 but doesn't know a local judge, what should they do? Right now we have if they are part of the Judge Academy, we have the forums. They might find someone over there. They could also look up, for example, local communities or even local judge communities. Many of them have their Facebook pages. And right now there are also many Discord servers. And so the first step would be just looking for a community like that. And once you find it, it's a matter of just talking with people, checking out who's there and who might be willing to do that for you. Like, of course, once you find a person that you would like to cooperate with on mentorship for L1 or L2 or any other improvement, please state to them that you would like this from them, and do not try to expect them to guess, or do not try to like just shower them with questions. Just be open and honest about it. Is there anything to look out for when switching from mentoring in person to mentoring over the internet? Honestly, I do not have a lot of experience in that, but I would, for example, recommend to try to focus on yourself and understand first what are for you the most important parts that you need to be able to speak comfortably with someone. Because, for example, there are people who do not need to have like a visual of someone, and there are people who do need that. Because they need to see the face of a person, they need to see their reactions to things, they like a lot of nonverbal communication, and they pick out a lot of cues that way, not only in words. So I guess this is a thing to figure out if you would like to do it by voice, with vision, by text, by chat. And of course, work on it together so that it's comfortable for both of you. And I think that the biggest challenge is that if, for example, you were able to mentor someone in person frequently, and it was connected to like going out together somewhere or something like that, or meeting on a regular basis at some spot at work, at LGS, wherever, it might be a bit more difficult to uphold that connection. And so both of people, or all the people involved, should make an extra effort to just check up on each other, and to remember that, hey, there is a thing in here and we want to progress on it. I think that the biggest issue might be just losing that feeling of being in touch. Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's even more complex in work environment, especially for leads, when we are on home office in teams, because it's very easy to lose the overview of what is happening to your team. And that's why it's important to make frequent checkups on people. And from what I've seen, you know, it's not comfortable for anyone, but it seemed to be more effective if those checkups are with visuals and voice, because people are more engaged that way, and they do not just mentally check out and just listen to audio and like do a couple of okay, thanks everyone, bye. So that gives a bit of more activization factor, a bit more engagement from people, to be able to even through the screen have a little bit of eye contact, or even looking at someone's face, so that you have more feeling of interacting with someone. All right, if there are any more questions, thank you very much for attending today. It was great to be here and to have this presentation for you today. And I would like to ask you to give me some feedback so I can work on it and make it better in the future. And of course, if you would like to talk about something, you can always reach for me through Discord or via email, or any other way. And have a nice evening, morning, whichever the time zone you're in, and enjoy